Yeah. Good to go. Hey, Pedro, good to see you.
Good to see you. Good to be here.
Does it feel like this fight has you on the cusp of that world title once again?
Oh man, it feels good. It feels right. And being in the fight where I know that I'm gonna have a fight, it's excited. So I'm buzzing to this one. It's a fight that I've been wanting for quite some time, and like I said before, I always want to fight the top guys, so I can go out there and prove myself as the top man. So this fight is perfect for me to go out there and earn my spot as a title contender and fight for the belt.
I seen an interview Aaron did recently. He said it'll be straightforward for him. What would your response be to that?
And to be honest, let him think whatever. He'll find out on Saturday.
We spoke to Brian earlier. He's obviously moving up weight. He spoke with his training. He's training with you guys, the kind of bigger guys he called it. How's the camp been with having him around and just in general?
Oh, it's been great. It's been great to be back. Not that we don't train together, but of course with camps we always try to train in groups, division groups, and having Brian again on the featherweight group around. It's great because he's such a unique fighter. He's by far one of the best, footwork guys that his footwork is excellent, his boxing is excellent, it's just I love to watch Brian fight and having him at featherweight fresh, fully ready to go. I'm excited to him and I'm excited to watch him beat this man.
I just want to ask you while you're here, the Rugby World Cup is on at the moment and Portugal played the other day. Did you watch it? I know it's not a massive sport in Portugal yet, but they did very well.
Unfortunately, Portugal is not like a big rugby country, but as a Portuguese man, I follow the results, and I know they are doing well, even though I don't understand a lot about rugby, but I do know they did pretty well against Wales.
Yeah.
And hopefully the boys will do good, which is already historical because it's the first time ever that Portugal is on a World Cup. So I believe that in the future we might do even better.
Hi Pedro. Obviously you've fought Patricio before and that'd be the ultimate goal again. But he's coming off 2 losses now and he's going to have a bit of time out. With a win here, do you think you could get either a shot at him or maybe an interim title going forward?
Oh, for sure the next thing it's interim belt because he'll be out until summer next year. He's not gonna fight anytime earlier than that, and I heard somewhere that Bellator is gonna do an interim belt. So, and besides, even if I don't heard that they're around, it's the obvious thing to do it because he doesn't defend his belt for quite some time. He's gonna be out for a good bit, so it just makes sense to make an interim belt and not holding the division.
Obviously, we've seen in Aaron's fights in the early part of his career where he was, I suppose, caught early. Is that something do you think has gone out of his game, or do you think it's something that's still there with him?
Well, he is a different fighter. If you look to his early fights before his losses and after his losses, he is a different fighter, and for the better for him. He is a way better fighter after the losses. The core, him as a fighter is the same fighter, and that's one of the things that I like on him. I call him he's a fighter's fighter. He goes in there to win, but he goes in there to fight. He's not there for holding and look at the clock and waiting for the time to pass. He's there to hurt you and to finish you, which I like it, But like I've said, I don't care about no one. I just care about me. I just care about what I'm doing and what I'm going to do on Saturday, and the rest is rest.
Not to maybe give away the tactics or anything, but is starting fast the most important thing for you against Aaron? Because as we've seen, in these losses, a lot of them have been early, and you're a guy who comes out and does often start fast, land big shots early. Is that something you've really kind of keyed in on the start of the fight?
It's not a thing that I'm looking for because we never know what's going to happen in a fight. We can imagine a fight million of ways, and the fight happens in that one way that we never picture it. So I don't lose too many times. I know that Aaron always most of the times he fight in a specific way, they're very aggressive way. So for sure, I'm gonna have to handle with shots, which I looking for. I rather prefer having someone that throws at me than someone that is just like try to hug me and make some love.
Obviously, you've had a few months now to reflect on the Jeremy Kennedy loss. Like, in your mind, what do you think went wrong there, and how are you gonna? What have you been doing in training to stop Aaron coming in and following the same kind of blueprint that Jeremy followed?
Well, first of all, speaking specifically about Jeremy and Aaron, I'm not too worried about that because both of them are different fighters. Kennedy fights always the same way. He's good at doing that, but he's always fighting that way. He holds you and just pretty much waits for the clock to do it. He's good at doing that, but Pico does not do that. I'm not saying that he might not try and doing that, but physically and stylistically, they're not the same. Especially when you're someone there looking for shots. When you look for shots, you create openings. Each fight is a fight, and each person is a person. So, talking about the fight specifically, there was a lot of things going wrong into that fight. I kind of dealt, with some personal things that doesn't really matter, and my own approach was a bit wrong going to that fight, because one of the most dangerous things to do is when you feel so comfortable about it. Because, for example, now fighting Pico, I know I have to be aware of his explosiveness, of how explosive he is, how powerful he is. So they're dangerous, make me alert. With Kennedy, I knew that he wouldn't knock me out because I am a better striker. He wouldn't submit me. So I was like, I'll be fine. So I'm just gonna play this tactical game with him, and it was the wrong approach. And with those kind of fighters, once they get the grab of you and they can see that they can keep you there, they grow and they kind of kill the flame on you, which is merit for him. He done that very, very well. But I don't think, I didn't felt that he showed me that he's a better fighter than me. He just was more effective, and it wasn't a case like I don't have arguments to this guy. It was just like on that night I made the wrong decisions. That was it.
Even like we've seen in recent kind of years in the judging criteria that even if you're on your back, if you do kind of defend well and land from the bottom, you can actually win these rounds. Is that something that maybe you thought you could have kind of changed the game plan to when you were stuck on your back against Jeremy Kennedy, and something you may try to do in the future?
One of them, yeah. And you have actually a good example when Jeremy Kennedy fought against Emmanuel Sanchez. I don't actually know the judges' scorecard, but I scored the first round to Emmanuel Sanchez because he was more active in the striking, and on the floor he just kept throwing damage. So yeah, that's one of those things, but it's not the main or the only thing. There's a few little details in there that I know that if I face him again, it's gonna make a huge difference. Thank you.
Hi. How does it feel to be a co-main now in your second home, basically?
Well, fortunately and gratefully, it's the second co-main event in a row that I'm doing it. This time, I'll get my hand raised, and I've been working for it, and this time everything is going to be doing just right. So it's not only, it's great responding to you, it's great, but I think it's, details. A fight is a fight. If I was the first fight on the prelims or the second last or the last in the card, a fight is a fight, doesn't matter.
Is your mental approach any different now, or the feelings that you have any different now than it was the last fight?
Yeah, I mean, yes and no. Yes, because the opponent is different, the camp is different, everything is different. So in their specific way, it is different. But in concerns of me, Pedro, it isn't, because I always try to bring new things to me, not only skill wise but even mindset wise. But I'm Pedro, and I am what I am, so I keep like that.
Do you think it makes a difference that you fought for the title, and Aaron is the guy that hasn't but is super hungry?
I don't think so. I don't think so because I'm hungry as well. You know, I wasn't. I know I didn't won the world belt. I'm hungry. I can say that I'm probably hungrier than him because I had the taste of it. I had the belt in my hands on the photo shoot. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I felt it. So day in, I see myself with that belt around my waist. And right now the path is pretty clear in front of me, but I don't want to think about belts. I don't want to think about rematch with Jeremy Kennedy or with Patricio. Nothing doesn't matter because I have to pass forward, but Pico, and that's what I'm focused on.
That answers my last question as well, because I was wondering what the plan would be if you've thought about it after you beat Aaron.
Yeah, like my plan is there, you know, because pretty much the winner after we get the winner of this fight, which will be me, the only obvious thing to do is their intro belt. Thank you.
Pedro, I spotted you in some of the footage from when Conor got his black belt.
Yeah.
Well, that was a pretty special night at the gym, right?
It was a good and special night, 100%.
Did you see much of him? And obviously Ian Gary was out there as well. Did you see much of those guys while they were there?
Yeah, could be. Yeah, they were so while Ian Gary was here in Dublin, he showed up like a couple of times. I didn't have the chance of working with him, as obvious because he's a welterweight and I'm a featherweight. But both of them were in the mats training with the lads.
Do you think he's really approaching that world level now? Do you think he's within the next year he'll be like, from what you've seen of him, he's going to be around, competing for world titles again? Compete for the world title for the first time. I said again there.
First time. Oh yeah, 100%, and even the way you watch him fight, he approach fighting in a very smart way, and even though his striking is very clean, it's very good. You can see that he doesn't rush into things, and you can see that inside of the ring and outside of the ring. And 100%, I will put my money that it is a matter of time until eventually he becomes world champion.
From what you've seen of Conor in the gym, do you think he's ready for the comeback? I know they just announced he's not coming back in December, but do you think he's ready now?
I would say so. I would say that the energy around it, it's different. You can see. I mean, my personal point of view, the energy you feel it's different. It's that fight feeling around it.
Thanks, Pedro.